Yeah.
Let's go. Let's together for old time's sake.
AB is really out there training with Gervonta Davis's team, man. That makes a big difference.
Adrien Broner has now joined Tank Davis at training camp, gearing up for the intense August rematch against Lamont Roach. This move only adds more fuel to an already explosive buildup. The rivalry between Davis and Roach is escalating fast, with both fighters trading brutal insults online and intensifying their personal digs. Tank isn't leaving anything to luck. He's brought in a fresh coaching team, ramped up the intensity with more demanding sparring sessions, and now added Broner's presence to sharpen his focus. Following their controversial draw, Davis is determined to send a message, and he's made it crystal clear this time Roach won't steal the spotlight.
In post is trying to let the world know he's going to be a completely different fighter. And as you see here, he's posting his black Nike boots. Now, technically, we usually say when you have Nike Air Force Ones, the black ones, that means some sort of bad energy. You're going to bring it. It's a thugging thing. And he's showing the Nike boots and saying it's time. He's going underground.
Tank, fully aware of just how close their first fight was, has been doubling down on every available resource during training. He's assembled a top-tier team, continuing to rely on his longtime trainer, Calvin Ford, while also introducing new perspectives and strategies to elevate his performance. From refining his conditioning regimen to fine-tuning his counterpunching, Davis has turned up the intensity in every facet of his training camp. That effort includes bringing in more challenging sparring partners, fighters known for their relentless pressure, quickness, and unorthodox styles to mirror Roach's tendencies and keep Tank in constant adjustment mode. Now, with Adrien Broner entering the fold, Davis gains more than just a sparring partner or occasional advice. He's getting insight from someone who truly understands the magnitude of boxing's biggest stages. Broner has been through the wars, experienced the spotlight, and knows the mental battle that comes with it. He's not merely training beside Tank, he's reinforcing the champion mindset required to remain locked in when distractions threaten to throw things off course. Their sessions, held in West Palm Beach, have been facilitated by Coach Kevin Cunningham, who's helping balance the chemistry between these two fiery competitors. It's a return to intensity and familiarity, something that might be exactly what Tank needs right now.
But I think Tank can pull off the victory.
Do you think Tank has more to prove because of what everybody was saying about him, that he did take a knee, that he should have been counted as a knockdown, he should have lost that fight? Do you think Tank has more to prove?
No, I don't think he got what to prove. What he proving? He ain't lose.
Good.
Yeah,
Anything else you got to say to the fans?
Nah.
All right, man. Thank you, Darrell.
The situation escalated just days ago when a heated war of words between Roach and Davis erupted on social media. It began with Roach publicly questioning why he had so many critics, seemingly venting his growing frustration. Davis, never one to stay silent, fired back swiftly and with force, writing, "It can get bad for you inside and outside. Keep faking." The message was cryptic yet threatening Tank, making it clear that any mutual respect between them has completely vanished.
You'd call a heavy-handed fighter, but Jason, if you watch this fight, you will see a guy that's very slick, who's very confident, and this is the dynamic I think all of us did not take enough account into. Tank is from the DC, Baltimore area, as is Lamont Roach. They have sparred together, they've had amateur bouts together, and when I spoke to Lamont, when there were rumors about this bout, he told me flat out, he goes, Steve.
The situation only grew more intense when a fan jumped into the fray, reminding Davis of his past bold promises. "You said that the last time give that man his 1-0 okay." Tank didn't hesitate. His response? He not getting anything. Tell him to come take it. Although the tweet, filled with bravado, was deleted shortly afterward, it revealed the emotional weight and pride both fighters are carrying into this rematch. Roach wasn't about to stay silent. He quickly added fuel to the fire, replying to another one of Davis's tweets with, "You still tweeting and deleting like a baby. Really won't get it." The words may have been laced with sarcasm, but the message was loud and clear. Roach isn't scared and never has been. Clearly irritated by the relentless jabs, Tank fired off one final response before wiping his social media clean. You should have been on that instead of calling around for that 250,000. What are you waiting on? This bag's bigger, you forgot? Roach replied calmly but pointedly. What's up with you, little bro? The bitterness between them isn't just for show, it runs deep. There's history here, old grudges and lingering frustration. Tank's disappointment after their first fight didn't go as planned still stings. For a fighter used to dominating and finishing opponents in style, the fact that Roach's name remains tied to a majority draw bruised his ego. Now, others are weighing in and the entire boxing world is watching closely.
If I don't win convincingly, if I don't knock him out, or if I don't beat it out of him, they not gonna give it to me. Tank know I can't go another 12 again. Cause they gonna really say I have been exposed. That's one of the famous words. He's exposed. He exposed them. You know what I mean? That's the I say now. So Tank not trying to hear that neither. So Tank gonna be really going there seek and destroy. But Lamont gonna be on the same.
Frank Martin, who faced Davis before Roach did, broke his silence during a June 9th interview with Fight Hype. Speaking candidly, Martin described the first Davis-Roach fight as a genuinely competitive bout. Roach came out and fought the best fight he could possibly fight, Martin said. He came out with his A-game, and I feel like Tank went into that fight not underestimating Roach, but more like, we've got history. I know what he's like.
I feel like the relationship that they got, or they had, as far as coming up together and kind of knowing the same people, working with the same people, it kind of was more of the fight was more of like I feel like so Roach came out and fought his best fight that he could possibly fight, right? Against Tank. He came out with his A-game, boom. And I feel like Tank came in that fight not underestimating Roach, but
Martin emphasized a key point. While Tank didn't underestimate Roach, there was a noticeable sense of comfort, perhaps even complacency, that made Davis appear more relaxed than usual. He fought it more relaxed and chill, instead of really trying to get him up out of there, Martin observed. That's a version of Tank Davis fans rarely witness. In most bouts, Davis is laser-focused, analyzing his opponents like a chessboard and unleashing knockout power at precisely the right moment. But against Roach, something felt different. There were fewer flashes of urgency. Maybe the shared history between them gave Davis a false sense of control, or perhaps it was Roach's style and his relentless refusal to back down that genuinely disrupted Tank's rhythm.
Do you think he wins that rematch with Lamont Roach?
I don't know, honestly. I really don't know. It's a 50-50 fight. It's a 50-50 fight. I don't know, honestly. I really don't know.
Does a lot of it hinge on Gervonta and like which version he shows up with? And no disrespect to Roach, but you know what I mean.
No, that is disrespect for the Roach, and like y'all fight fans gotta realize.
When asked about the rematch, Martin didn't hesitate. I think the rematch is going to be a good fight still, but I think Tank may get him up out of there this next fight, he said. Even with the knockdown and all that stuff too. The rematch, I feel like Tank's going to turn up on this next one. Martin's remarks reflect a broader sentiment within the boxing world. Davis isn't likely to make the same mistake twice. The upcoming August 16th rematch in Las Vegas is more than just a second chance, it's a reckoning. Davis has taken the outcome of their first meeting personally, and judging by his increased training intensity, tougher sparring sessions, and the addition of seasoned voices like Broner, all signs point to one goal, leaving no doubt this time.
In front of the packed house, fight everybody wants to see.
Do you think that Lamont can build on what he did rounds 8, round 9, round 10, and so on and so forth?
They ain't seen Lamont told y'all the first time he got a big bag. Y'all ain't seen half of that shit he got.
Okay. If you don't get the Gervonta Davis rematch, Shakur Stevenson has said that him and Lamont talk. And
Roach has his own motivation to push harder than ever. He knows most people didn't expect him to go the distance with Tank. He heard the whispers that it would be a short night. Instead, he delivered one of the grittiest performances of his career. And now, after proving he can stand toe-to-toe with Davis, he truly believes he can beat him outright. That confidence shines through in every tweet, every online jab, and every defiant response where he refuses to back down.
And it was something probably that Lamont and his team already knew, because they have a history with Gervonta Davis, and some of the things they've talked about to us and whatnot is Gervonta had natural God-given talent. He had natural blazing speed, twitch muscles, and power. Lamont didn't have that God-given talent, but you know where they evened out the stakes, because it was such a big difference. Character and backbone. Lamont has a ton of character and backbone. Gervonta has none. So as soon as you push back on Gervonta,
now we have two fighters heading into this rematch not just to win, but to erase every shred of doubt. Adrien Broner's involvement signals that Tank's team fully grasps the significance of this moment. Nothing is being left to chance. Each day of camp is meticulously structured, intense, and focused. With someone like Broner, who has walked similar paths and faced comparable challenges, a unique level of accountability permeates the training environment. It's clear Tank isn't preparing like a favorite. He's training like a man with his back against the wall. Though his record shows no official losses, that should be a warning for Roach, because a motivated and slightly wounded Davis is among the most dangerous fighters in the sport. But Roach won't be entering unprepared either. He's been sharpening his combinations, increasing his pace, and meticulously studying every detail of footage from their first encounter.
No choice but to give Lamont the rematch, based off how close the first fight was and how controversial it was. But I have so many questions heading into this highly anticipated rematch. Can Lamont Roach finish the job and get a W after a controversial scorecards that led to a draw? Two judges favored the fight being in a draw, one favored Tank Davis winning that fight. But it was so controversial because in that 9th round, Gervonta Davis willingly took a knee after getting grease in his eye.
The lead up to August 16th is shaping up to be one of the most emotionally charged build-ups in recent boxing history. Trash talk, deleted tweets, money disputes, and unrelenting pride have transformed this fight into more than just a boxing match. It's a clash of legacies. Shocker Stevenson, one of the first high-profile fighters to weigh in on the rematch, didn't hesitate to throw his support behind Roach.
Think one coming up with
I
Tank
hope he
and
don't
Roach.
fight Lamont, actually. Like, I hope he don't get in the ring with him again. Because at the end of the day, if he lose, it's just going to look bad on the fight with me. So it's going to look like somebody else already did it.
You want Tank to knock you out, yo. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I heard him say before. I heard him say, like, yo, I want to fight Tank, and that's nice, but why do you want Tank to knock you out so bad? Like,
Look. That sound good. That sound real good, but she's too little.
Too little.
I promise you.
He said, "I like Lamont in the rematch," and doubled down by adding that if Tank wants to win, he has to be 100% at his best and then some. Stevenson isn't one to hand out praise lightly, especially not to a fighter facing someone like Davis. But in this case, his assessment was grounded in what he saw during their first fight. He spoke about how Roach has the ability to disrupt Tank's rhythm, his capacity to remain composed inside the ring, and how that initial bout revealed certain weaknesses in Tank's timing and decision-making.
Lamont Roach, giving him a tough fight. What do you
think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his A game.
Did you think Lamont won the first fight? 154 and fight.
I asked two questions at the same time. I ain't hear shit y'all do that.
Do you really want to move up to 154 after this fight and fight again?
Yo, you know, I kind of said 154. I probably was stretching it. I'm stretching 154, but I'll fight him at 147. 147 means.
Stevenson believes that Roach fought smartly, forcing Tank into situations where he had to hesitate before throwing punches. If Roach brings that same approach with even tighter execution, it could be enough to swing the fight in his favor. According to Stevenson, this matchup will come down to who can stay mentally sharper during the championship rounds, because both fighters have now experienced each other's power, rhythm, and tempo. The element of surprise is gone. That's why he thinks Tank must come in better than ever. Any lapse in intensity or focus could hand Roach the victory. Known for his own high boxing IQ, Stevenson's warning that Davis can't afford a single slip is definitely worth paying attention to.
I just so happen to be a boxing fan, that the fact that I do watch him fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed
Right.
for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long we taking?
It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's gonna be soon. I'm hoping it's gonna be soon. That's it.
Roy Jones, JRB, also weighed in, offering his usual nuanced perspective. He said Roach shocked the world the first time and wouldn't be surprised if he did it again. However, Jones added that Tank will enter this rematch with a different mindset. In his words, Tank will come with a different attitude, different motivation. Roach will do well again, but Tank will be more dominant this time. Jones is known for blending respect for both fighters with an understanding of how experience factors into rematches. He pointed out that Davis now knows what it's like to underestimate someone like Roach, and he doesn't expect Tank to make the same mental mistakes twice at the same time. Jones believes Roach earned his respect in their first fight, meaning Davis won't take unnecessary risks early on. According to Jones, the fight could start slowly again, with both fighters waiting for the other to slip up. But once Davis finds his rhythm, he'll begin breaking Roach down. Jones described Roach as brave and disciplined, but said Tank's ability to adjust mid-fight gives him the edge. He was quick to add that Davis must stay mentally sharp throughout because Roach has excellent timing and knows how to capitalize when an opponent isn't fully committed to their movements. Jones believes the fight will be won or lost based on mental clarity during exchanges, especially once both fighters settle into their rhythm. But what's your take? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.